We all know about the bright side of fame. After all, it's fed to us in a continuous 24-hour news cycle on every type of screen imaginable. But for each news story that sheds a light on all the positive aspects of celebrity, there are two that have fallen through the cracks because they cast the industry in a less than favorable light. These stories deal with the dark side of fame, and that's what this series is all about. In today's episode, we're taking a look at one of the most popular and yet controversial MTV series of all time, 16 and Pregnant. This reality series debuted in 2009 and took the genre in an entirely new and unexpected direction by documenting the real-life struggles of teenagers in the midst of their unplanned pregnancies.
When you first found out, what were you thinking?
You were in denial, right?
Yeah.
I showed him the
she's not
pregnancy.
pregnant.
What other evidence do you have?
On the bright side of fame, from an entertainment perspective, this series was a natural source of drama, given its ingredient list of teenage hormones, blindsided parents, and, of course, morning sickness. The series would last for 5 years, and early ratings went through the roof, with the premiere of season 2 even outdoing the viewership of the Winter Olympics in the women under 34 demographic. This series was without a doubt a pop culture touchstone that remains so relevant after going off the air that MTV is getting ready to bring it back in a big way in 2021.
It's going to be hard enough being 18 and raising a young baby on your own, but then having stupid teenage drama that goes along with it.
But on the dark side of fame is a different story altogether. After the show became a hit, parents began to worry that it might glamorize teen pregnancy. Multiple studies were undertaken, all of which resulted in different conclusions as to whether the show is helping or hurting teenage moms. Beyond that confusion, the show also manipulated its audience through the staging of certain elements, and some of its stars would also go on to suffer some serious tragedies, including having their kids taken away from them, being arrested for theft, and losing their lives at an extremely young age. What's poppin', guys? Your boy Marlon Palmer back at it again with a brand new episode of our series that takes a closer look at the darker corners of celebrity. Today's subject is none other than MTV series 16 and Pregnant. With the recent decision to bring this puppy back for another go-around, what better time than now to take a look into the series past and find out what went wrong. Here's hoping they don't make these same mistakes twice. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @DudeMcFly. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get into the story. Let's start with the most controversial aspect of this series. Does it or does it not glorify teen pregnancy? Well, once the show first debuted and became a massive success, studies started springing up all around the United States that aimed to find out the answer to that very question. One of these reports, titled Media Influences on Social Outcomes, the impact of MTV 16 and Pregnant on teen childbearing, wasn't just a mouthful to say, it actually came down decidedly in favor of this controversial series. This report was published in January of 2014 and was a joint study conducted by researchers at the University of Maryland and Wellesley College in conjunction with the National Bureau of Economic Research. Utilizing data that they took from a whole bunch of sources, including Twitter, Google Trends, and even the Nielsen TV ratings, the study determined that the show was single-handedly responsible for lowering the teen birth rate by 5.7%. According to their conclusions, by showing the warts in all portrayals of pregnancy and birth, it provided something of a wake-up call that shattered many teens' preconceived notions of having a baby.
Whether you stay with her for the rest of your life or not, she's the mother of your child. You're gonna have to live with it for the rest of your life.
Personally, for my generation, I thought Maury was doing a bang-up job. That man's show is definitely birth control.
You are not!
But while that study came down firmly in favor of the series, others haven't reached the same conclusion. Researchers from Indiana University Bloomington discovered that hardcore fans tended to believe that becoming a teen mom was inviolable. The study reads, heavy viewers of teen mom reality programs are more likely to think that teen moms have a lot of time to themselves, can easily find childcare so that they can go to work or school, and can complete high school than were lighter viewers of such shows. In fact, the study concluded that these viewers tended to believe that what they were watching was 100% real and hadn't figured out that the show was scripted, edited, and put together in a purposeful way to creative narrative and drama. Naturally, this led them to holding unrealistic expectations of becoming a teen mom. Now, as confusing as all that might be, what's less confusing is the very real and tangible effects that being on this series had on some individuals. Take, for instance, Valerie Fairman, who appeared on the series in 2010.
I just wanted us to just work stuff out and just be like it used to be.
This young woman was only 18 when MTV's cameras began to follow her around, and within 5 years of her appearance on the episode, she had been arrested for prostitution before ultimately passing away at the age of 23 from an apparent drug overdose.
Janice says Valerie's body was found by one of her friends inside a bathroom at the friend's Pennsylvania home on Wednesday.
When Valerie didn't come out of the bathroom, the friend broke down the door and found her lying unresponsive.
When her mother was asked by the Daily Mail as to what happened with her daughter, Janice Fairman told them she was a gorgeous girl and it all went to her head. She thought she could pretty much do whatever she liked after the show. She was determined to get everything she wanted. Being on the series played a big part in her death. I think it messed her up big time. If you're a parent, then you know the worst thing that could possibly happen to you is having your kids taken away. And that's exactly what went down with the next example. When Joshua-Rendon and Ebony Jackson-Rendon appeared in the first season of the series, they seemed to be a pretty normal couple with their heads screwed on right.
Aww, isn't that sweet? Aww. Yeah.
Let's take a picture and then we gotta go.
But in what should give you a taste of just how heavily manipulative this series really could be, that wasn't the case at all. In 2011, these two made national headlines when police raided their home and found an absolutely appalling level of squalor going on inside, alleging that every single room in the residence, every room, had human and dog feces on the floors, walls, and clothing. Why? To make matters worse, the home was reportedly crawling with maggots, and photos taken of the inside showed off dirty diapers, cigarette butts, and trash everywhere. If you have a weak stomach, please keep looking. We want to see you projectile vomit through the screen. The state took custody of their 2-year-old daughter, and Ebony eventually fired back by saying that their home was not normally in such a state of despair, but at the time she was suffering from depression due to a miscarriage. She further admitted that she and her partner had decided to sign over custody of their daughter to one of their parents until they were able to get their lives together. Not a great look in terms of 16 and pregnant helping prepare those families for the difficult lives ahead of them, if you ask me. And look, when you get right down to it, this shouldn't be much of a surprise. If I'm the first one to ever tell you that reality TV is heavily contrived and not as real as it pretends to be, then I think you need to start watching less of it. I promise you, 16 and Pregnant was no different. For instance, former star Carly Dethridge admitted that the producers of the series knew what buttons to press to achieve a specific emotional response, so off camera, they did exactly that to get the reaction they desired.
Why would you say that to
Aubrey
me?
loves being around anybody.
I know! It just feels like I won't be happy for a long time.
One final example of this manipulation took place with the casting of Christina Cook and her boyfriend Isaiah Robinson, who appeared on season 4. Christina's family was often shown being cruel to Isaiah throughout the course of their episode, and Isaiah's family has since stated that MTV purposely chose clips of the family being negative to their son as to suggest that Christina's family disliked him more than they did. Beyond former stars of this series losing their lives and children, some of them have also been arrested. That's what happened to Whitney Purvis in 2015 after she was taken into custody for beating her baby daddy with a broom.
Are you feeling okay? You look a little bit scared this time.
And that wasn't even her first arrest. Back in 2012, she was stopped at a Georgia Walmart after an employee spotted her shoplifting a pregnancy test and taking it to the restroom to use. I'm sorry, but you gotta be a real piece of shit to snitch on a young girl with a pregnancy test. Like, come on. When she tried to make her getaway, a number of security grabbed her and called the cops, so she ended up getting arrested when the store pressed charges. I wish I could tell you guys that she was the only 16 and pregnant star to get arrested for theft, but she's not even the only one to get arrested at a Walmart. This exact thing happened to Aubrey Wolters when she was caught stealing $30 worth of cosmetics with her baby in tow. When cops searched her, they also found Ritalin and Oxycontin, neither of which she had a prescription for. Drugs, death, and squalor. What more can happen here? Well, how about prostitution? Because that's what former participant Jordan Cashmyer ended up doing. After getting kicked out of the house by her parents for getting pregnant and with her boyfriend refusing to get a job to support them, Jordan searched for work as an escort, posting photos online to attract clients. Not exactly a ringing endorsement for the positive side effects this show is supposed to have, right? Well, by all accounts, we're about to get even more of it when the series returns in 2021 with 6 brand new episodes. This time, the series is going to branch out a bit more by concentrating on every member of the family instead of just the young mother.
My mom is here to get me checked in since I'm a minor, and I'm really hoping they let her stay.
We gotta have this baby. Let's go.
And while fans of the original series are no doubt mad excited for the show to be back, not everyone is happy for a lot of the very reasons I just went over. Former teen mom McKenzie McKee spoke with The Dirty and cautioned teenagers that while the original series was meant to document the difficult experiences of teen motherhood, it eventually dissolved into creating a farm team of aspiring reality stars. She finished by telling The Dirty, "It's not what it's cracked out to be. Some 16-year-olds could possibly purposely get pregnant for a shot of fame. MTV is a short time in your life and a baby is forever." But will future participants heed this warning? It's too early to tell. We'll just have to wait and see when 16 and Pregnant returns to our television series for the first time in over 7 years. What do you guys think about 16 and Pregnant's brush with the dark side of fame? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below if you plan on watching this revival, and don't forget to follow our series on Instagram at Before They're Famous, where you can vote on what we do next, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!